Hello, and welcome to the Long Island Local Podcast, brought to you by Audio Workstations here in Bohemia, New York. Let's jump right into the conversation with a Long Island local business owner. Welcome, everyone, to the Long Island Local Podcast. I am here today with both Moore.
Hi.
And Craig.
Hey.
And Moore and Craig together represent Plethora.
Yeah.
That is it.
Plethora, we are going to describe very generally up at the top as helping connect people with local businesses here on Long Island, which I like extra much because this is a Long Island focused business, where I'm only trying to talk to other Long Island local businesses. So the fact that you guys are here with a specific mission that, is to connect local people to local business, that's
Exactly.
right up our alley. And so here we are today in Studio C talking about it. So welcome officially to the podcast. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you so much
Awesome.
for having us.
We're very, very excited to be here.
Awesome. I'm excited to ask you guys some questions because I just learned about what you guys do today. That's part of our formula here. My ignorance is part of our formula. So I'm curious, when it started and what was the inspiration for it?
Plethora started last year. We had put the kids to bed, and it was around 9:30ish. And then I went out back, and then we heard the ice cream man. And next thing you know, the lights went on, and we're like,
Kids are up.
"Oh no! So why is he here now? Why isn't he here at like 6:30 when we're all eating dinner?
Right.
So that we can have it at a more convenient time." So I went to her and I said, "Hey, why don't we develop an app for that?" And she basically said, "No." She said, "Why are we going to create an app for only 6 months out of the year?" And
Yeah, just ice cream trucks, just calling an ice cream truck and having them come when you want them.
Right.
That wouldn't have made sense. Again, it's 6 months and then they're done. So what happens the other 6 months of the year?
I mean,
And-
it doesn't make sense from a business perspective, but from
Correct.
my personal desire perspective,
Well, of
it
course.
makes perfect sense.
It definitely makes sense for you.
But go on
but,
about the
it-
economics.
Right.
Exactly. On the financial side, it's not the best investment. On our side, I don't think it would have been too smart of a
Okay,
move.
so you were cold on the ice cream idea.
yeah, so I basically went outside and I felt like I had some legs, and we were like, what else comes to the house? And because of the time period that we were living in, everything's coming to the
COVID
house.
started
Yeah.
a year, not
Right.
started, but existed a year ago.
Sure.
So, I mean, we didn't even know until recently, but there's nail salons that come to your house, manicures at home, massage at home, you might know, dog grooming, all at your house.
Right.
Or things that you might not
So-
know, like a phlebotomist that comes to the house.
Get your blood
Right.
drawn
Yeah.
at your house, notary services at your house, all these things.
That way, when I pass out, I'm already near my bed.
You have a
Right.
sofa, you have your pillow, you're good.
there's that. So we wanted to kind of basically make one universal remote control for all the things that you could possibly need.
Okay.
So Craig came up with that idea.
All right. So we're focused on services that can be sort of ordered in, but then further filter that through things that are locally based.
Correct.
Okay, so we're not like ordering huge corporations to the house. We're trying to order local people that are part of the community.
Correct. I'm much more likely to trust the pest control guy that's across the street because he's getting, my neighbor's sprickets out.
Right.
Most likely I have the same problem, and he's working hard to stay trusted in that household. What's to stop him from, me learning his information and booking him at my next availability, the next available time?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so started with ice cream. What was the next? You listed a bunch of things just then, but what
Yeah.
was the next thing that you actually thought about seriously onboarding into the infrastructure?
I think next was kind of what I said initially, which was the nail salons, hair,
Okay.
Food trucks.
food trucks as
Oh,
well,
that's
even though
cool.
they
Yeah.
don't come to your house per se.
But they can come to your neighborhood.
That's exactly what we thought.
Right. And,
So-
and if you are doing ordering for like a wedding or whatnot, they could do catering.
Okay.
You can have
So-
a birthday party and have them come to your
Yeah,
house.
yeah. I've been to a couple parties where people had like a food truck there.
Oh, I love food trucks.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Exactly.
So basically, a lot of what it was selfish needs. Like I love that. I still pop like a 6-year-old when I hear Mr. Softy coming down the block. And when you take something that you love and you make it into something that you hate, that's a bad thing.
Right.
So even as a kid, when I'd hear the bells coming down the block, and I'd grab my piggy bank and I'd run outside, and it was the knife sharpening guy. It's the biggest disappointment. So you go back inside. So we wanted to just kind of give something different and new.
Okay. So what is the process like for? Well, let's talk about the business side. So how do you approach and talk to a local business and get them to be interested and involved in having their service go through your platform?
A lot of what I do is I go face to face with either expos, or I'll go door to door with the local companies, and I show them how it works, and I show them how that works, because I feel like especially with an app and with something new and innovative, people really need to see it, touch it, and know that it's working to kind of get behind it. And when they did see how it works and the demos in person, they get that like aha moment, like, oh, wait a minute. Wait. So this is not just for my industry. This is for them and them and them.
Right.
Okay. So.
And then the additional features that we have in the app, it just, I mean, we're saying to you, you're going to, as a person, are just going to get the business to come to your house. But in reality, there's probably at least another dozen huge things that are going to help mostly the business to grow the business, to help with their marketing, to help with their organization, to help with, so we tell them all these, dozen or so things. And they're like, oh, okay, that's great. And then we're like, but wait, there's more.
Yeah, I hate to sound like that guy.
But we are.
But, we have a lot, and there's so much more that we have in store. But we wanted to put enough into the first rendition to kind of get people really, really excited.
Okay, so as a business owner, someone would sign up with Plethora, and by doing that, they're basically listing their business name and how much their services cost, what services they provide, obviously, and where they're willing to go to, right, geographically.
Right now, it's all Long Island.
Okay, so we cover the whole island. Basically, they're agreeing to go anywhere on Long Island to perform a service that someone purchases through the app. And then how do you guys work out the fees and all that and deal with the...
So the great thing with Plethora is that there's no contract to sign. There's no obligations that you need to go into.
Okay.
Everybody that wants to join the platform simply goes to our website, joinplethora.com, and they go to our mobile vendor page. All they need to do is fill out a profile. And if they do so before we launch, they get 3 free months on our platform just to give it a try, to see that the ROI will be there the second we launch. Because we already have over 300 businesses registered for our launch, from Island Harvest to Mr. Softy. So the range that we have is far and wide. And we're looking to make a giant impact the second we're available on both iOS and Android.
Okay, so basically you have it in like a beta testing service and business gathering mode, trying to build up a large amount of available services for people so that when you do launch to all of Long Island, there's all these different areas and vendors to pick from.
Correct. Hundreds and hundreds. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, we wanted to show Long Island that the second that we're available, that they could find a local food truck. They can find because people need that thing right away. Let's say they need a plumber, a pest control, a car detailer, a pet groomer. They can find all these different things and so much more all in one place.
Sometimes it's hard to find a plumber.
Yeah.
It is. And then, you find a plumber and, oh, look, they're all the way, 4 hours drive from my house.
Yes. Yeah,
or
why
they
is
have
that
horrible
even,
reviews. Or
yeah, why is that even listed?
The leak will not pause while the plumber comes to you.
It's impossible, especially in an emergency situation.
Yeah.
Right.
And, again, well, not again, but I don't think we mentioned that for users, it's completely free. So a customer, you will just have the app, you'll download it.
Yeah.
You're never going to be charged a penny.
Okay, yeah,
No
I wanted to ask
service
about
fees.
that consumer experience side as well.
Exactly.
So I go in and I just type basically like a a general description of what I'm looking for, and then I'll get like a list of local vendors and just be able to. You have to create an account, and essentially
You have to create a user
that part
account.
is free.
Yes,
Okay.
correct. Completely free.
So basically, what Plethora can do, you can see, is the top 10 categories right when people click onto it. But more commonly, people will actually use this form of our map so they can see what's local in their community.
So you have a map feature and you have a category
Correct.
feature.
So
okay. And we can search from within those things.
You can search for
You
any
can filter
category,
it.
subcategory,
Got you.
Yes,
follow vendors or not.
Right. So some bakers do gluten. Some people are gluten free.
Yeah.
You can categorize it by that. You can categorize it by what's closest to you or what's trending.
Yeah. So you'll be able to go ahead as a user, find whatever you're looking for, with 3 clicks of a button, basically.
Right.
"Quote unquote," order them.
Yeah.
We're calling it ping it
Right.
to your house or
Okay.
wherever you need.
Yeah, that was going to say the common thread is that everyone who's available through the app is basically someone who will deliver to whoever's using the app.
Or broadcast in the local community.
Okay.
So like a food truck or a food pop-up, same kind of situation for them. So we have a lot of markets that will be using our app to broadcast all the different vendors that they'll have on a weekly occasion, so that there's no more guesswork. And as well, if I say that I'm going to be at a location from 5 to 7, and it starts the downpour, and I don't have the luxury of being indoors, you'll be able to stop broadcasting, so you're not bringing people out for a situation where you're not even there.
Okay, I see. So on the vendor side, if like a food truck is in an area, they can say to the app, "Hey, I'm here," and from this time to this time, and then users of the app can detect that and they just know that they're there at that moment.
Correct.
Exactly. They'll be able to find them. I mean, I was saying earlier, I love food trucks.
Yeah.
One day I was looking for food trucks near our house, and I found 5 food trucks. One of them was in Connecticut. Like the usual search methods that you would normally find.
Yeah.
One of them, okay, so now I found them on, my browser. Now let me go to their Facebook and see if they have their scheduled location and or hours.
there's a menu.
Oh, okay, they're closed today. Now a third food truck. Oh,
Right.
whatever. This one doesn't
How
have
do
the
you
right
know
food
where
today.
where they are,
Yeah.
when they
So
are.
Plethora kind of helps solve that problem
Yeah.
because you could see everything in the app and you can just know for sure
Yeah,
that
it's there.
they are there.
Yeah.
So the users are going to flock to the app, not just because it's free, though, but because the fact that each of our users get to benefit from the app every time they share through the platform. So each share that our users
Sharing
give,
to social media.
right, to one of our social medias, they'll on our raffle ticket to our $500 monthly sweepstakes. So the more times they share everyone in the business, the better it is for the community, the better it is for us and the business that they're
Gotcha.
dealing
So
with.
you have some incentive structure for just the average user to spread the word about the app.
Correct.
Exactly.
And that
not even just the app. Even better is about the businesses.
Sure.
correct. And the businesses that are pulled, because we pull out one of the shares. So the user that shares wins $500, but the business that got shared gets an extra month on the platform for free.
That's cool.
So everyone gets to win something. We like to free is my favorite 4-letter word. Everyone's scared to use it, but
Well, how do you guys figure out how to make money then?
so everyone that joins currently gets 3 free months on the platform. After that, if they'd like to stay aboard, it's simply $99 a month, and that's it.
Okay, so
the
there's
subscription
there's a
model.
flat fee subscription for the vendors.
No
Correct.
service fees, no ads, and no sign-up fees.
Okay, so it's simple math for them where they have a flat fee to join, and if they sell a lot,
Not
they
to
make a
join,
lot.
not to join, just to subscribe to
Yeah.
the service.
Okay, to be a part of the platform,
Correct,
essentially.
correct.
Okay, so that makes sense. But what's nice about the fact that it's not a percentage is that they start doing really well, and it's not this ever-increasing amount of dollar signs that is coming out of their chunk.
Correct.
They can, maintain that, flat fee of the monthly, and then they can just do really well and then be really happy.
Correct.
Exactly.
And
That's what we're here
everyone
for.
and everyone that joins the platform gets grandfathered that price in for life.
Everyone
So-
who joins before we launch.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's like a pre-launch price, and then you expect, the world has inflation and things, so it's probably going to go up at some
Sadly,
point.
yes.
But if someone can become a part of the launch, then they can get a little price fixing guarantee from you
Forever.
guys.
Forever.
That was a Sandlot
My
reference
Sandlot
in
friends
case
out there.
anyone didn't know. Awesome. Okay, so I'm starting to understand the goal and the mission and a little bit about how it's going to happen. And I think the story of the ice cream truck is a really great one. And the food truck conundrum is just on its own. Even if you came in here and you were like, I want to solve this, like, where's the food truck problem?
Right.
On its own, that would have been a decent enough, I think, problem to solve with an app. And I, when I'm searching my mind, like, I drive by a couple locations where a food truck is usually, but I don't really know.
Exactly.
Right. Do you want to have to schlep all the way out there to have to turn on? Gas is expensive.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. I'd much rather know, especially if there's one that I really like.
Right.
You want to be able to tell that it's there all the time.
Right.
And so you mentioned like other types of services too, like the nail salon, the phlebotomist, which is probably the most fun word to say in all of the medical field and the least fun to experience.
Yes. All accurate.
Yes. I need to consume a whole lot of sugar before I give blood. I will pass out. But okay, so what's an example of a service that people really wouldn't think of that would be like available through the app?
I would say we've had a bunch of law firms that have signed up.
Okay.
And people might not think of that. Insurance companies. We have Greg from State Farm.
We do actually have Greg from State Farm. That is not actually a joke.
No.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So those are some things that people, might not.
Realtors as well is a big one.
Now, when you're dealing with a service like that, where obviously they could set up like a online meeting with you. Now, is that the extent of what they're offering, or are they actually saying, okay, we want to physically visit your home? Is that part of that with that type of service, or is it just an optional
Ultimately,
thing?
that would be up for them.
Okay.
Up to them to decide what they prefer to
Right.
do.
They just see the value in being part of a platform that's local based.
Exactly.
And they
Ultimately, you get to stay in your house, whether
Yes.
it's them coming to you or you do a Zoom conversation.
Correct.
So.
Okay. So yes, obviously any physical product can be brought to you or near you, and then certain services you might need someone physically to be present at your home, or certain services you might be able to do virtually.
Absolutely.
So that makes sense. Yeah, we have some insurance nearby, and
Give me
everyone.
ideas. Hey, I'm going to go piss.
Listen. You can walk around. You know what I mean? We wanted to meet our neighbors. That's why we started this podcast. And then the concept of our neighbors is just enlarged to include the island. So all right. So you can order a lawyer, and you can order a nail salon, which I guess it is technically not a salon. It's like a portable nail salon.
Yeah, get a manicure, pedicure at home.
Mobile nail unit. That's like a new Law and Order abbreviation.
I'm not going to watch that show. I'm sorry.
MNU, the Law and Order Mobile Nail Unit.
There's also mobile chiropractors.
Oh, that's helpful. Well, listen, if you
you can't walk anyway,
see, okay, this is smart, because if you take that sort of I need help with my back to the extreme, I probably can't get to the chiropractor.
And
So for them to show up and have
Makes
a
my life
table,
easier.
that's real important, actually, because that seems like you're reaching at least potentially some of the people who would need it the most but not able to access it because they can't make it to the office.
You
of
wouldn't
the doctor.
necessarily think to book that, but now you have an app that you can just click a button.
Now
or
that I know that it's there,
physical therapy.
Yeah.
Physical therapy can be in your house.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm having lower back problems, to have to get out into the car and lower myself and drive there, and every bump that you hit is like,
And then physical therapy 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yep, and I need new shocks on my car, so I relate to that right now. That's really important. I think, because things like that, physical therapy, chiropractics, if that's what you need, or anything that's like therapeutic like that, where maybe you need the therapy so bad you can't drive yourself there.
Right.
That's important.
It's basically pretty endless in the fact of each category can have almost an unlimited amount of subcategories. So like even in the pet category, you could have a pet groomer, you could have a pet trainer, you could have the guy that comes to the backyard and cleans up the pet poop.
Yep.
There's even the people
I've
that
heard of
come
that
to your
guy.
house that if your pet happens to unfortunately pass away, they do a beautiful ceremony and they come and they give you the dog in like a cremated form. But,
Right.
but even them, you could have almost an unlimited amount of selections of subcategories in each category.
Yeah, and I'm finding that, if you're going to be using the app, you'll probably learn about new stuff that you didn't know about before.
Right.
Yeah.
We certainly are learning every single day. We're like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't even know about so-and-so business type. And now they're on the app. They've joined the app.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about doing this is when I get to go out to the markets some weekends and I get introduced to a product I've never heard of, scared to try, but I'll do it anyway because you're almost forced to.
Yeah.
And you get introduced to some of these products that and people that just change your life. You're like wow. The smells of some of the things and the genuineness of the people that they're out there and they're hustling, they're working hard. It's an amazing feeling that you're knowing that you're helping these people.
Yeah.
So.
One of my first podcast episodes was with a lady named Michelle, who has Michelle Shops, and she's a personal shopper. And she's doing it through an app currently that is completely focused on personal shoppers. But would that also be something where she would be able to list her services?
That sounds like something
Yeah.
that makes sense. Again,
Okay.
she would come to your house, bring you whatever you need. And
Okay.
so that is a service she's providing.
All
She
right, I'm gonna
definitely could fit.
write. I'm gonna write to her. She's a little bit west of where I am, in terms of where I live and where I can get
Sure.
deliveries. She's a little bit further west, but at least the area that she's in is on Long Island, so she qualifies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so our app is really about all word of mouth. You know what I mean? Like knowing that connection. So perfect situation is Dirty Taco and Tequila is another caterer that we have on our app.
Okay.
When you get to experience them in their restaurant or whatnot, and you have their food for the first time, you're just like, wow. And then I go to her and I say, oh, you have to try their carnitas. Oh my.
Yeah, we lived there for a while there.
Yeah.
We still kind of do. But
But that testament, it speaks volumes for the company, and that makes that person want to go seek that person out.
Yeah.
And it's better than any commercial or ad that you could place on Google or whatnot. So
Of course, when you hear from someone that you know and that you trust that something is good, it carries much more weight because you know that they're not being paid to say it to you.
Right.
And there's that inherent, level of mistrust that anyone has with advertising. And it's just the nature of the beast. And so when you feel like it's a real recommendation coming from a person that you know, it's just 1,000 times more valuable. So
absolutely. Yeah, no, it definitely does. And you get behind the people
Yeah.
that you're working with. Some of our vendors, like you see them out there, they're posting daily, and that's what we do. We try to help them out. We share to our stories of all our vendors on a weekly basis, and we're not even launched yet. And this past weekend, just alone, I went out and I saw a vendor that we had posted for the first time that past week, and she ran up to me and said, "Thank you so much for that post." And the second you did, my Instagram blew up. I got so many followers, and I was like, "Where is this coming from?" And it was all from you guys, and I was like,
yeah.
wow,
That's awesome.
Yeah, like
That's a whole power unto itself, right?
it makes you feel amazing.
Yeah, the cross promotional relationships that you can get with local is a bit more powerful because it has that authenticity behind it.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned the launch. All right. So do we have an official date for the launch, or is it still a question mark?
It's the question mark. It's
Okay.
going to be soon.
Soon.
We are working out all the kinks. We're finalizing all the details. We're making sure it's
I've
perfect.
seen the beta. I don't know if the
Yes.
cameras didn't catch it, but I've
Yes.
seen it with my own eyes.
Oh, well, we're showing that version. That's
Okay.
the demo, beta version, like you called it,
Yeah.
technically alpha. But that's okay.
Yes, I learn nerd speak daily.
Nerd speak. Yeah, it's the version before beta.
Okay, gotcha.
so
I
alpha.
see. Yeah,
You got it.
alphabetically
Yeah,
makes
you
sense.
got it. That's not rocket
I should
science.
know that. I give you a reverse alphabetical tour of my studio.
Yep. So, we're saying soon as the term.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we're avoiding the rest.
Yeah.
All right. And
yeah.
now this might be like a bit of inside baseball, but how did you go about finding someone to build the app and figure out the technical end of it?
We interviewed a lot of different companies,
Okay.
and it really came down to one that we felt comfortable with. They seem to have a lot of experience doing the kinds of work, geolocation, geomapping, and purchases.
They had created, typical delivery apps.
Okay.
So, you can think of any delivery app that
Right.
you might use. I don't know which one they created, to be honest.
Yeah.
But so they've already had experience with that. And as for picking the right one, I mean, I'm a software developer by trade.
Oh,
So
great.
that's my job.
Cool. So you knew if they were legit.
I was able to tell, this guy, this other guy that we interviewed, were like, he might just kind of not know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Basically, if they got past the whole, hey, will you sign an NDA? I said, okay, here, talk to them, and then we just.
So we narrowed it down. We chose a company. I worked with them to create specs, which, that Craig was also involved because we keep saying I was what did I say? I was the question. I was the what if person.
Right.
And he was the answer. So I kept saying, well, what if, or why would we have an app for only 6 months out of the year for ice
Right,
cream initially,
yes.
right? And Craig came up with an answer. And then what about this? And he was like, I hate you and all your questions. But
That's how you flesh out an idea.
yeah, we
Yeah.
kept bouncing ideas back off one another, and we created specs, which we gave to the developers. They're,
That's
obviously,
exciting to hand it off, and then so now it's being polished, and
Exactly.
we're excited for launch at the question mark date of soon. If sometimes it takes us a little bit to edit these, so if you find a hard date that you want to send to us, and then it happens to be before we release, then we can include that
That'd
date.
be awesome.
Perfect.
Otherwise, it'll just be a looming question mark, and people
You
will
can
check.
see it down there.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. If not, there'll be a question mark down there.
Down there.
And I think you said it once before, but let's just repeat the website that people would go to for more information in the meantime.
If somebody wants to check out for more information, all they need to do is go to joinplethora.com. And the homepage, they can see all the user information. If they go to the mobile vendor page, that's just for the businesses. Or if they really want to go through all 300 and so vendors, they can click on the blog page.
Okay,
And
so you can sign up both as a end user and a business now.
Exactly.
As sort of for pre-launch. So
Well,
that
right now
you're-
it's only for businesses, for vendors to sign
Okay,
up.
so vendors now, and then when we launch fully, then the average person
Precisely.
can use
Correct.
it on their immigrant
Correct.
account. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, once again, on both platforms, the
iOS
iPhone
and Android.
Correct.
Yep, that's important. Kind of have both those evil little pocket dwellers, right? They are essential. Okay, so wow, that's a lot of awesome stuff in one podcast that I just learned all about you guys. So I'm going to remind everyone that it's Plethora, not Plethora.
Oh, well, however you want to say it is
yeah.
totally fine with
Put
us,
that-
but we say it plethora, yes.
Yeah.
Plethora, if anyone's typing it in. So it's joinplethora.com. That's where you can go to sign up as a vendor and get in before the launch, lock in the new price. I'm remembering all that correctly.
Correct.
The
Sure are.
current price, lock that in. As
You
a
could also
vendor.
see us on Facebook and Instagram at Join Plethora.
Okay, so at Join Plethora. Awesome. I think we hit a lot of awesome topics today, all about local Long Island businesses. This was super on topic for us as a Long Island local podcast. So thank you so much once again for coming down.
Thank you so much. It was awesome.
Great opportunity.
Well, we appreciate talking to you, and I'm going to join Plethora myself, perhaps, on behalf of Audio Workstations here. You agree, E?
Yes.
Okay. I got agreement from E. All right. Awesome. So thank you, everyone, for listening. And we will see you guys next time, audience. Bye.
Woo!
Hey, it's Craig Rappaport from Plethora Technologies, an app launching soon for all Long Islanders to book local services, find local charities, and enjoy local foods. You can find out more about us at our Instagram and Facebook at @JoinPlethora or at www.joinplethora.com.